Well, I had an incredible week. I actually am sitting here in San Diego. I was able to participate in a cross-country race. Basically, all 4 electric trucks that you can buy today, we raced them across the country with limitations. It was not reckless. 10 over was the limit, so it's not like we were doing 100 miles an hour in trucks or anything. But that is done. I can't tell you who won. You'll just have to wait till that post. But what I can tell you now is I need to get back to Florida, and one of the members on the team used his Rivian R1T, and I have agreed to take that back to Florida to meet him while he's borrowing my Model Y. So I've got a pretty big trip ahead of me, but I have decided to break it up into a couple stops. First and foremost, I'm going to Phoenix to hang out with a friend in the area. So I'm headed there now, and that'll be basically 9 o'clock tonight. I think I'll get there super late, which is unfortunate, but I had to get some sleep before I started heading back and grab some lunch and all that. Time to head to Arizona, hang out for a bit, and then I'll proceed from there. I may go to Moab after. I'm undecided before heading back to Florida. So we'll just have to see what happens next. But with that, let's take a look, because this R1T is super nice. And I'm very much looking forward to the road trip experience in the R1T, which is the most efficient pickup truck on the market. And I'm very excited about giving this thing a go across the country. So as a Tesla owner, I get to enjoy the love and the thrill of public charging on the way back. No superchargers for me, which is very unfortunate, but the way that the route planner has this set up is I would stop here and top off just outside of town, and then about halfway, a pretty deep charge at 52 minutes, which is quite a bit, but I'm not going to do that because there is a Rivian network charger here right before I get there. So I'll probably do something like hop a little bit and not do such long charges at these places. But I still don't quite know the full charging curve of this truck and what's most efficient, which is what we're going to find out on the way back to Florida. We'll get into a groove, and all this will make sense. But definitely going to stop here first. This first stop is an EVGo charger. It does have the 350s, and it's in El Cajon, California, right before we get out of the state. So I think we have to climb a mountain to get there. And oh no, we don't. We climb a mountain after that before we get out of here. So that is going to take us a mere 21 minutes, 18 miles away. Get plugged in, charge it up a bit, and prepare to make our way into Tempe, Arizona. Pretty awesome. Pull right in, 350 EVGo. These are pretty new looking, but nope, dead. Nothing happening on this one. Walked over there to that one. There's a bolt over there, and asked her if she was going to use it because she's not plugged in. She said, oh no, it's broken too. So that's 2. So we've got 1, 2 working, and then we've got these 200 kilowatt units over here that appear to be working. Nothing else. So we're off to a really good start. Okay, so I'm ditching on this. I'm not gonna wait. Somebody came up. I guess there's like 3 people waiting for the 200 kilowatts and then 2 350 chargers that are actually working, and I felt bad. But I guess since it's broken, he said I didn't like necessarily cut anybody. I just parked. So I feel bad about that. Etiquette I gotta learn on using broken chargers. So I'm actually going to head to the next charger since I have plenty of juice. That one is 17 minutes away. Let me show you what we're looking at. So we're here. We're just gonna keep going a little bit farther down 8. The direction we're headed anyways, and right up in here there is an EVGo charger, which is where we're headed, and it does have some 350s there as well. I think there's 8 stalls, which apparently for public charging is a lot. So that's what we're gonna do. 17 minutes away. I'm gonna head there, and I'll pick this up there in the parking lot. Hopefully being right back near the interstate, we'll run into a lot less of this. We'll just have to wait and see. Okay, here at the next EVGo station, and it looks like we might be in business. We're gonna find out. I'm gonna plug into this unit here and see what we can get. It says touch here, but nothing's happening, so a little bit of a delay apparently. I'm gonna try to get this thing started, and when I do, I'll come back up here and we'll see how the charging is going. All right, so this is looking good. We are jumping up to 170 pretty quick, and sitting at 36%. So we need to stay here not too long. It says to 70%, and I think that's going to take quite a while, so we're going to have to split this up. I'm not going to sit here for an hour to do this. So let me open up this map here, and let's add that Rivian network, if that is down the road. I think it is. Maybe that's after the next charger. Okay. So what's this one here? Electrify America, that's a 150 max, which is okay, because I'm not gonna sit here for an hour to charge. That's not very efficient. So let's add this stop here and see what that changes things to.
Drive west, then your destination will be on the left.
So we only need to be here for like 5 minutes, it says, which is not very long, but it is charging pretty fast. We're up to 218, and I'm gonna let this thing charge for a bit. If we left at that time, I really don't like how this is set up. This is gonna take some getting used to. What's my percentage of arrival? I really don't like looking at miles of charge. So we'll get this all figured out though. But it wants us to charge to 49% in order to continue, which is fine. And we're gonna sit here and let that happen. I will give it a little bit of extra until I get a good feel on how the efficiency on this truck is. And by the time we get halfway through the country, we'll have a nice system down. So hopefully chargers work out well, like this one. And I'm gonna go get a drink and stretch my legs and get ready for moving on to Arizona. So we did have a successful charge. I'm still trying to get used to when it thinks we'll arrive and selecting the next right charger. I'll get all this figured out, I promise, but we're at 68%, and we need to go 96 miles, and we'll arrive at 110 miles of range, not a percentage. I'm trying very hard to figure this out so I can get this in terms that make sense. What's the arrival percentage? That's all I care about. Let's take a look here. It's really not that far. 96 miles, hour and a half, be there about 4:53. I will be going through the mountains, so plenty of extra charge. I just want this to say percent, so I'll figure it out at some point. I've already messed with the settings. Yeah, anyways, so plenty of charge to get there. So I'm gonna go ahead and get rolling here. And still looking at an arrival close to 9 p.m. in Tempe. 9 p.m. at 8:50 p.m. is what we're looking at the moment. Let's get going. All right, I wish I could tell you what our estimated arrival percentage was, but instead the garbage number, the number here, estimated range, it was like 116 or something. We are here at 136, which again is why it's garbage, because it is not a good number to go off of. That's a way to get yourself stuck somewhere. We're supposed to be here till 81%. So I don't know how long that'll take, but we are going to get plugged in here. This Electrify America 350 kilowatt charger, about 30 minutes actually. That's about what it's going to be. So we'll do that, get us to 81%, and then from there we'll be able to head to the Rivian network charger, which is like right off the highway over here, and we only need to be there for like 15 minutes. So a couple of short, small charging stops, which is not too bad. So we'll get this thing plugged in. Let's see if this charger works compared to what we've been looking at so far. Doesn't look like there's going to be an issue, so let's find out. Seems to be turning on. All right, yeah, this is working, so that's good. Already up 1%, so 168 kilowatt right now, where it seems to be sitting at 165, 168. Let's see what the vehicle is actually pulling from that. Looks like 168, so that's good. Added about 2 kilowatt hours so far. So this is going to sit here for about 30 minutes or so, and then looking at 81%, I believe is what we're trying to get to. So 81%, let this thing charge up, and then we'll head to that Rivian network charger. All charged up here at 83%, needed 81 to get to our next stop. So we are going to unplug and keep rolling. Should arrive something like 52 miles, whatever that is in percent, and charge for 15. That's the only other charger on this part of the trip. So let's go ahead and stop charging and get this thing back on the road. Stop. Looks like 60 kilowatt hours delivered, 28 bucks on this. That was about 31 minutes. So we'll keep an eye on that kind of stuff too. That was a decent charge. I didn't see any throttling issues. Temperature's good. So set it all back up. So a very obvious observation. This trip so far not excluded. These Electrify America chargers, or EVGo or whatever, not Tesla, are public DC chargers. These things aren't like super convenient. A mile and a half doesn't sound like that's very far, but when you're used to pulling off of the highway and the exit ramp kind of sliding right into where the supercharger is, this is not very ideal. So having that be quite a bit farther away from the highway, like, it could be better. The location is not anything close to the convenience of how Tesla has set up their supercharging network, where you literally just fall off the interstate, fall into a charger, fall out of your car, and barely plug the thing in and it's charging. This is quite a bit more involved, and it's not at all right off of the interstate. On the flip side, you drive by everything in town, so if you're hungry, you're pretty much driving by all of your food options on your way to the charger. So yeah, that coupled with, is it all going to be available? Is it going to be working? Like, those types of things are really frustrating. And that is where Tesla opening up their network is such a big deal. And until V4, you're not going to be able to get these big voltage trucks charged up at the same kind of efficiency that you can on some of these public chargers. But just the reliability, the location, the convenience, that is a huge win for all EVs. That is not a Tesla only thing anymore, and that is rolling out now, and a huge win for Rivian owners, for Ford owners, for all the owners of other electric vehicles who have signed on to access the Tesla Supercharging network. If you're on a road trip, absolutely worth having your adapter for when they make it available for your car. So something to really think about. Look into when your brand is going to have access to the Tesla Supercharging network, and make sure you get set up for your adapter so you can access the best DC fast charging network in the United States. All right, we're here at the Rivian Adventure Network, which is pretty cool. There's a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 stalls here, and then back over here in the corner, maybe you can see it over there. It's like a pull-in spot for pulling a trailer, which is great. So that little stretch, we're here at 21%, and our total trip so far, average speed is 69. I'm doing 85 on the highway, so that'll continue to climb. 272.5 miles, we're averaging 2.26. We're really close to that 2.0 at 85 miles an hour. But total energy, 120.5 for this trip so far from San Diego. Gonna go ahead and get this thing plugged in. And the nice thing about this adventure network is, oh my goodness, yeah. Let's pull forward a little bit, huh? Ultrasonic sensors are really nice. Anyways, like I was saying, the nice thing about this network is it's more like what you'd be used to in a Tesla. Just plug and go. I'm gonna open this little flap up. Hang on, there we go. Nice bulky cable. Should just plug it in and get going. Let's see. There it goes. That is much better, a lot closer to what it's like to be on the Tesla network. Just plug it in. Takes a moment for this, maybe a little bit longer for this thing to activate, but it, yeah, it does pretty good. This is acceptable. So this thing's starting to ramp up here. Wants us to stay here until 53%, but we're at 162. It's settling in at 21%. I really wish this was more straightforward. Charge for 15 minutes. So there you go. Tells you how long right there. It's just a little bit off the screen there. So much real estate and screen. I really like most of the stuff that's here. It's like just little things would be a little bit better, like little tweaks or even little things they could add would make this a little bit more intuitive. But overall, I mean, it's not like totally foreign to figure this stuff out on this truck. This is the last charging stop for today. And then I'll be spending the day in the Phoenix area and then kind of figure it out from there. I still think I'm probably going to go to Moab, but we'll just have to wait and see when that might happen. So let this thing charge up and we'll get right back on the road. All right, so we are all charged up here, just a smidge over, but 58%, and that's enough here. It's still charging at 141 kilowatt, which is pretty good, but it's doing this jumping thing. Now it's down to 57. So it took a little bit longer to charge than it projected, but it does this hopping thing sometimes. So we're all charged up here at 59%, a couple percent more, but you know, 142 kilowatts. I've got a little bit of extra juice here to drive around when I get there. I'm going to finish this off. We have like an hour and 13 minutes to go. Should arrive with 170 miles of range, which is quite a bit. Probably could have gotten by without charging, but I wanted a little bit of extra so I don't have to worry about charging as soon as I get there. So I'm gonna go ahead and unplug and finish this up. About 74 miles to go, hour and 16 minutes. Total stats here, 20 minutes, 59 kilowatt hours delivered, $21.45. All right, so here, right down the road from where I'm going, Looks like 44% at arrival, and that is 335 total miles to get where we're at right now, and an efficiency number of 2.29 miles per kilowatt hour. And based on the calculation I just did, for those who are used to watt hour per mile, that's about 437 watt hour per mile for that 335 miles. So I was doing about 85 on the highway because speed limits are really high out here, and about 70 on the 2-lane road back there out in the country. So not bad. I don't know if that's going to be good or not. I know 2.29 is not terrible, so it'll be interesting to see how this goes as we get further into this road trip and we're doing closer to 80. I'm very interested to see what this number will end up being. And I do know that the speedometer is off by a few miles per hour, so there is that as well, but I'm just using the miles per hour that the screen is showing, and so we're actually doing a little bit slower than any of those speeds mentioned. So there's quite a few miles on this trip yet to go, and I'm excited to share it all with you right here. So we'll pick this up when it's time to get moving once again.
I'm on Twitter.
Oh yeah, he does Twitter too.
Yeah.
You do Twitter?
Yeah, I mean, it's cool hanging out, Greg. I didn't know you had other friends in town. Like,
Are you?
who is this clown? He showed up in a Rivian. Here today with a special guest, as you can see behind me, needs no introduction, but of course, this is Gjeebs.
Pulled off the side of the road literally to film. We've been trying to start this video multiple times, and we've had several people pull over. You know, there's all kinds of things. Here we go. It's not mine. Our buddy let us borrow it. This is mine. The Rivian's mine. Okay. So customize it afterwards. But I do think it looks good. God, I'm wearing yellow. I'm gonna have to finish this video shirtless. Yeah, it's gonna fly in a second here. Yeah, thank you.
We're in the middle of nowhere right now.
There's people coming out of the woodwork.
Like
Lance
everywhere.
Armstrong
Like
stopped. Look at Lance.
somebody just posted
Show
on
Lance Armstrong over there.
Somebody just posted on Facebook so that, you know, we've got all kinds of stuff going on here. Like, what is happening? I don't know how people are finding us, but it is like nonstop. People are coming, they're like hanging out in this intersection. There's nothing out here. Where are they coming from? This truck, it just brings everybody out.
Oh, yours is better.
Oh, dude, nice Rivian. Dude, I would never drive a Rivian. I don't know what.
I don't really like anything about it.
That's a fat lie.
No, my favorite thing is like the light bar from the looks insane. Like I love how that looks. It's so clean. Like the body lines on the front of the car are very good. It's surprising because like if there's any car that will do it justice, it's absolutely the Cybertruck.
Yeah.
Because even though I've seen it in person, when I see pictures of it, I'm still like, oh, that doesn't look that. It just doesn't take in how nice it is. It's really cool.
Have you, Greg, ever heard anybody or seen anybody so depressed about their truck purchase as Gjeebs?
It's not been so aggressive until this morning after we've picked this thing back up and been able to see how it looks now.
Like he's driving so aggressive that I think he's purposely trying to wreck his car to get the insurance to like total it.
I'm done with both of you.
She said, "What?
What in tarnation?"
She's calling the police.
Did y'all see that? Yes. Man, we are the police. Oh, Big Brother, Honda Ridgeline.
Oh yeah. That's it right there.
Brother?
The OG Cybertruck right there. So it is time now to leave Phoenix, and I had so much fun with Greg and his Cybertruck, and it just looks absolutely amazing. If you are getting a Cybertruck and you want to wrap it matte black, just wrap it matte black. Don't worry about what anybody says that everybody's doing it. Everybody's doing it because it looks amazing. He also smoked out the lenses too for like the turn signals, and I think it was just the extra touch that makes it look so amazing. So I am definitely doing that with my Cybertruck, which was always the plan, but it was really nice to see it in person of what it's gonna look like. So with that, let's take a look over at the screen because I've got quite a drive in front of me. I think it's about 2,200 miles to make it to Florida. Through all this mess, I promise there is something happening, and it is first stop in Tucson for 29 minutes. And this is at an EVGo charging stop for 29 minutes. We have a number of stops. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, about 13 stops from Phoenix. And other than a couple 45-minute stops, there's an hour stop. Most of these are about 20 to 30 minutes, which is perfect. I'll take a look once we get closer on this stop here for an hour and see if we can split that up. But for tonight, my goal is I really wanted to get to Fort Stockton, and I might still be able to, but we're just gonna have to see how it goes because I want to take it easy. I want to be careful. After having gone coast to coast, I did have a day or two to recuperate, which was nice, but need to be extra safe and not be too tired doing this. So 2,129 miles, about 40 hours including charging stops. So I'm hoping to be in Florida at home sometime on Friday. I'm hoping that Friday's a shorter drive. We'll just have to see how it goes. If I go far enough tonight, then it's possible. If not, then I'm just gonna have to deal with it. So gotta go ahead and start moving now, and we'll see how this goes. Next charging stop with 112 miles of range remaining. Can't tell you a percent because it doesn't tell you, unfortunately. We're at 68%, so we'll see how accurate that is. 112 on the clock estimated, and 244 kicking off. All right, so we arrived here at the charger. I actually ended up extending it, and just a quick word about that. I have a tendency of pushing to a further charger. So instead of stopping before Tucson, I actually stopped after. And we were supposed to stop right here at this charger, and I had plenty of juice to get here. As you can see, arrived at 14% with 49 miles, so still plenty to go. And supposed to be here for 37 minutes and get things rolling. A little over 2 miles per kilowatt hour. But while I'm talking, let's get this thing plugged in because it's always so dicey, at least in the eyes of a Tesla owner. Won't be much longer, Rivian people. You won't have to put up with this for too much longer. All right, so this is supposed to be at 350, so we will see if it's working and if it's working at a good speed. All right, so payment was just accepted, so should be ramping up now. Starting to charge. Getting a lot of bad looks around here. I don't think they're very excited about EVs in this town. Just an observation. 64 cents a kilowatt hour. Pretty terrible. That is ridiculous. All right, so 157 at 14%, and we're starting to juice up, and the car, I believe, agrees with that. 157, so a little bit on the slower side, but I think as we get over 20%, this will start picking up again. So I've been looking everywhere for efficiency since last charge, you know, like how many miles you went, how much energy you consumed, and what that overall efficiency was. Can't find it anywhere. All I can seem to find is the trip A, trip B. So I'm not going to be able to tell you what the efficiency is between each charging stop, which is super unfortunate. But all I'm going to be able to share with you is this ongoing number here. So 2.27 miles per kilowatt hour is what we're sitting at on average since we left San Diego. So that's the best that I can do, essentially, is just whatever this shows. So I really wish that was something available here. But anyways, it wants us to charge to 77%. And we're at 73. And if I hit continue,
Drive north, then turn left.
We have 172 miles to get there, and this says I have 258 miles. So I think I'm going to go ahead and unplug. And things will get there at 89 miles remaining. So I'm going to unplug. Let's see if those numbers stack up still. So 259 down to 89 miles. Let's go ahead and unplug and see how ridiculously expensive this was. $54. That's insane. That's just like a ripoff. 85 kilowatt hours were delivered, which is good. They were delivered in a good amount of time. It was pretty quick for that much energy. So there's the breakdown for you. 32 minutes. Oh, here we go. It was 32 minutes, 85 kilowatt hours, and they charged me 64 cents a kilowatt hour, getting me to $59.89, including a tax, which is super, super unfortunate. So not a fan of that. I got to figure something out to make this a bit more affordable, because 64 cents a kilowatt hour is a rip-off. So I suppose if I would have stayed and charged to 77%, this would have been 89. So by unplugging a little bit early, that gets us to 54 miles at arrival. So I'm gonna go ahead and get moving here. We've got 2.5 hours, 172 miles to go, and that will get us all the way over to Electrify America in Deming, New Mexico. So we'll get rolling. Quite possibly my favorite thing about the public chargers is that is a Chevy Bolt, and he is charging on the 350 kilowatt charging station. So that car can pull a max of like 50 kilowatt. This car and others need as much as possible, can actually use that 350, but since he's taking the highest speed in a car he can't even come close to consuming, when somebody with a much bigger EV that needs charge can't use that stall. To be fair, it is a huge gap in the public charging network, in my opinion. He shouldn't have to know he shouldn't be using that stall. And as we continue to increase adoption, we are well beyond early adopters, people who know this stuff or would know this stuff. So we need to really be thinking about this. This is pretty silly that he even needs to know that. Just my thoughts anyways. All right, so we're here at the Electrify America here in, where are we? I don't even remember. Doesn't matter. Supposed to be here for 20 minutes. It is a 350 there, and I remember this stop in the Silverado EV, so should have a good charging session. Everything should be good, hopefully. So 20 minutes and then to El Paso. I actually added some stops here, and I'm going to keep messing with this because it is adding quite a bit of time to the trip. It wanted us to stay here for an hour, but I'm not going to do that. I'm going to stop and top off at this Electrify America. So rather than staying for an hour and 5 minutes, I split it up into 2 charges for 42 minutes. And that is because the fuller the battery gets, the slower the charge rate is. So it's much, much quicker to not sit around at a slower rate of charge than it is to just continue on and get to the next charge. Let's go. All right, this time 56 cents a kilowatt hour, which is crazy. All right, several minutes later, if you don't have tap working on your credit card, I highly recommend fixing that. Or at least charging from your phone for this stuff, because that was ridiculous. Anyways, unnecessary time wasted waiting for this thing to accept my card. So let's see what we're looking at here. Hopefully still good news. All right, so we're looking good. 157 kilowatt at 14%. Went over to the car and the screen agrees 158, and should be about 20 minutes. I'm gonna go inside and take care of a quick potty break and get back to the car. Well, I wasn't paying attention. I'm at 59%. We're still getting 147 kilowatt, which is pretty decent. But I need to unplug and keep rolling.
Then turn right.
Should arrive with 65 miles range, it says. I'll unplug and verify. But 113 miles, hour and 45 minutes, be there about 10:40. And where we're sitting at right now from an efficiency standpoint should be better because we had quite a tailwind. 2.26 miles per kilowatt hour. And I guess, actually, now that I'm thinking about it, some of the city driving was a lot more efficient. So yeah, 2.26 miles per kilowatt hour is our average so far. Let's go ahead and unplug and see 73 miles at arrival. It says 211 on the dash. $38 smackaroos. That is very expensive. These chargers are very, very pricey. Not cool, man. Not cool. All right, we pulled in here at the Walmart parking lot. Electrify America, 350 stall available. We got here at a charge percentage that I almost pushed it to the next stop. It's like we have 105 rated range, or however they're calculating 105, and we've got like not a whole lot to go more than that, like 108 miles or something. So anyways, that's neither here nor there. I'm gonna plug it and charge, and the reason why this is happening is, I mean, look at our efficiency, 3 miles per kilowatt hour, which is pretty insane. That's all due to a tailwind that we have behind us, which is really great. So anyways, get plugged in here. Supposed to be here for, looks like, till 57%. It's like 15 minutes or something. So I'm gonna get plugged in. It's gonna be a little windy outside, so I'll catch up with you here in just a few moments. So I had to do some messing around here to get it set up right, but basically it wanted us to get to Van Horn and charge for over an hour, which makes no sense. But by doing that, we'd get to Fort Stockton or the next place or whatever at 3 a.m., which is not good. It was Fort Stockton at 3 a.m. actually. Yes, it was. So what we're gonna do, instead of sitting here for an hour, blah, 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 we'll get to Fort Stockton at 2 a.m. So I'm gonna look for a hotel there while I'm finishing up here. I am gonna unplug though, because we have plenty of charge to get there. It says 49 miles at arrival, and our charge, $15.54. I paid for the pass, so it was 42 cents this time. A little bit better. Still ridiculous, but anyways, 1554, 39 kilowatt hours. Looks like 54 miles at arrival, so no issues there. 12:30 a.m. and then a 20-minute charge to make it to Fort Stockton at 2 a.m. So we'll see if we can make up any time from 2:12 a.m. But for now, let's hit this next little stretch here. 112 miles, hour and 42 minutes. All right, this should be our last charging stop tonight. Only need to be here for like 23, 24 minutes. And that'll get us all the way to Fort Stockton, which I have a hotel booked. I found a hotel with a charger that I called, and the charger is available at least as of an hour ago. So we'll see if it's still available. But efficiency finally getting back to normal since we don't have quite a tailwind, putting us at an average right now of 2.28. So still not bad at all. I'm 965 miles now into this trip after leaving San Diego. So let's go ahead and get plugged in. I did charge these at our cross country with the Silverado, so I know that they work pretty well. So I'm gonna go ahead and get this thing plugged in now. I'm not sure why it wants us to charge so long, so I'm actually gonna unplug. I'm supposed to charge like 210 miles or 60 some percent, but it's only 117 miles. So I'm gonna go ahead and unplug now at 53%, which is looking like a 17-minute charge we ended up doing. $21. So expensive to charge on these things. And yeah, that should be it. Last stop for the night. Next stop is the hotel, which will be nice to get some rest. Well, I did get good sleep last night, even though it doesn't look like it. I just woke up. I want to show you what we have in front of us because unfortunately, the adapter I swear I saw on this truck before we began our trip last week is not there. So I got here, Tesla charger was available, but I have no adapter. I tore this thing apart looking for that thing. So I did not get a charge overnight, which is super unfortunate. So I do have to charge this morning, and I'll show you. It's actually like right back here. So it wants us to charge for like an hour here to get all the way over to I guess Junction, Texas. And so what I'm gonna do, I am gonna plug in. I'm not sure why nothing's popping up. I thought oh, there we go. So I'm probably gonna split that hour up. So once I get plugged in, I'll go through all this with you and I'll show you why it's quicker to do this. So for the moment, let's just get over to Walmart and Electrify America, and we'll get this thing rolling. It's such a bummer because somebody's there now, but at 4 o'clock in the morning, nobody was. It's right there. No luck, none at all. That was
West 14th Street.
That was very hard to admit defeat and lay down. That was hard because it was right there, and I would have woke up with quite the charge and would have been able to skip what I'm about to do. So that happens sometimes, but that's why, like, if you can and you call, that's helpful because sometimes they can take a look for you, let you know if it's even available. Yeah.
In a quarter mile, your destination will be on the left.
So let's just pull in here and get a terrible charge because this battery is not at all preconditioned. At least it's 66 degrees outside and not like 30, because then we'd be in big old trouble. Right over here, and we'll see how many stalls are iced, because they like to do that here for whatever reason. There's, okay, let's just go around the other side. All the way in the back of the parking lot. It's like this fun game. All right, so they're not. It's a nice change of pace. Nobody blocking a stall.
And turn right.
Okay, let's activate this charger. It's a 350 and get things rolling, and then I'll show you about splitting this up. So let's do that first. All right, so let me show you what I'm doing here, so that way you can see what's up. Let me continue.
Drive west.
So it wants us to charge here till 89%, and it's still, I don't know, 40 more minutes maybe. Anyways, to get to Junction, and if we look at Junction's arrival time,
Drive south, then turn right.
at 1:24, and we go over here and we find this one in the middle. So 3:21 at the Rivian network, 1:24 at Electrify America and Junction. So
Drive south,
3:22.
then turn right.
So if I add this stop here, and then we let it do its thing, let's see what time it says we'll arrive and how much longer we gotta stay here.
Drive south, then turn left.
So it wants us to stay for about 10 more minutes here, and then we would get to the Rivian network about, okay, it's trying to do the math here, but that location is, how far away? It is, okay. I don't know how far away it is. I'll have to look myself, I guess. I don't know why it doesn't realize we're charging, but it wants us to charge here for 11 minutes. And then this stretch here, yeah, call it 110 miles to get to Azona, Texas. And I have 118, and it's been pretty good about arrival estimate. So I just wish it knew that we were done with this spot. But of course it doesn't, even though we're already charging there. It's kind of like glitched out. I don't know why it does that, but I'm gonna probably top this off just a smidge more, 110 miles. We'll leave at like 40-ish%, and we'll see how this works out. But that should get us to the Rivian network a bit sooner than before of what it was estimating. Yeah, this thing's like freaking out now. So it really does not like doing this on the screen, but if you know what you're doing, you can work around this. But basically, this is an hour later than it was a moment ago by removing Azona. So by adding Azona, we have 34. So we have 34 minutes of charging, it says, to make it to Junction. And if I add our midpoint here, let's see if it can figure this out this time. And then I'll have to add that next stop also, which is crazy. This thing does not like being messed with. The thing is like really freaking out at this point. So it has no idea what's happening. So it's not real. You don't have to charge for 51 minutes at this next stop. That's just not
Drive
how
south,
this is gonna
then
work.
turn left.
Did it figure it out?
Drive east, then turn right.
Okay, I figured it out. I see what the problem is. There, right? It's a good thing we're charging while this is happening, because this is like
Drive south, then turn left.
not happy.
Drive east.
There we go,
then turn
108
right.
miles to Azona. So now it's figured something out at least. And then that gets us to Rivian network at 3:15 according to this. So we'll see how much charge we need to do this, but it should be much quicker to do this, because right now we're sitting at 213 kilowatts. As this battery starts to fill up, this is going to go down, and right now it's jumping all over the place. So
Drive
it's not
south,
too happy.
then turn left.
And that's my fault. And that's because I did not have a preconditioned battery when I pulled in here. But hitting 213 without a preconditioned battery is pretty awesome. That's pretty much the max that this thing can pull, pretty close to. So if it sat there this whole time, that'd be great. So we're gonna let this thing
Drive east, then
do its
turn
thing.
right.
And then we've got 108 miles to go. I am probably gonna go ahead and call it. I'm gonna pull the charger, And in this case, it is saying,
Drive
see,
south, then turn left.
so it's the car is saying it's the charging station that's limiting us. So it just dropped real hard down to the 30 kilowatt, 20 kilowatts. So it's jumping all over the place. We really need to not spend too much time here. We need to get moving. So let's see how long it takes it to jump right back up. All right, I'm giving up. We're at 40%. We're gonna pull it. We're gonna head to our next stop, 108 miles away.
Then turn right.
About an hour and a half, be there 12:25. I got us $20 even. 44 kilowatt hours, 27 minutes to get that. So it was not a very fast charging session. All right, so we are here at the charger. Arrived with 9 miles on the clock, not 4 that it assumed, but that's within like 2 miles of when it finally figured out. It really did not want me to go this far, and that's one thing I've noticed about this car so far. It really does a good job of trying to protect you as a driver. And the good news is, although I pulled up and there's only a 150 available, the 350 over here with the Rivian, all the way on the end, that's a 350, and he just unplugged. So I think I'm gonna be able to, yep, he's pulling out. Awesome. So I should be able to park next to this Rivian, and we'll have a Rivian Fest here. And I will take that 350, which will be great. So let me get that activated and plugged in here. I also want to take a look at our efficiency and what we've been able to do as far as improving this. Look at his wheels. He's got some, I like these wheels. These are nice. Those are Rhinos, black Rhino, right? Yeah, it looks really, really good. All right, so let me activate this and I'll be right back with you. All right, we are looking good at, what is that, 92 or so, 147. So it's ramping up as expected, and not bad for low state of charge. Looks like it's kind of leveling out there, so it'll speed up once it gets to whatever that next threshold is. I have to charge a little bit faster, but it wants us to be here for like 56 minutes, which we're probably not gonna do, but I will mess with all of that later. For now, let's just let this thing sit and do its thing. Probably should have filmed myself doing that, but I'm at 58%. The charging is decent. It's kind of leveled off at 100 kilowatt a little bit ago, actually, like into the 40s. So it's starting to walk around a little bit, which isn't a terrible speed, but I do want to get going. If I leave now, I can make it to Junction and only need an 18-minute top off to get to the Rivian network, which is great. And it's only like 93 miles. It says we would arrive with 73 miles remaining. So plenty of juice here to keep rolling on this trip. I am going to unplug. We are also looking at, by the way, efficiency has started to go down again. So we're down to 2.26 mile per kilowatt hour for this trip so far, almost 1,200 miles. And an overview here for you of the whole trip. We still have about 1,360 miles to go, or just over 24 hours, including charging. So making decent progress, honestly. But I would like to get things sped up a little bit. I'm not sure why we're losing time here, because we're going a decent speed on the highway. Although that last stretch I was doing 80 instead of 85, and then 80-mile-an-hour zone. So anyways, that's enough chit chat for now. Gonna unplug here at 60% here at the Electrify America. And by the way, at this stop, it is in the parking lot of a hotel, which has nice restrooms, but also walking distance to like a gas station, and there's a Subway, all about 5-minute walk away. This charged 31 minutes, $38, 82 kilowatt hours. So basically a Model Y completely charged here costs about 38 bucks on EA. Here's our total summary, $42 after taxes. Lovely. Total idiot. And now that I've done it, I can't believe it took this long to do it. I backed into this charging stall. The charging port's on the front of this truck. So now that I've done it, like I said, I can't believe this is the first time I've done it. Anyways, I'm mostly used to pulling in. So we're here at Electrify America in Junction. Where am I at? I am in wherever I'm at. Yeah, Junction. I'm in Junction. Yeah. Anyways, here at Junction, supposed to be here for 12 minutes now, it says, and it's doing something funky. I'll show you. It keeps rerouting, and it's having me not get back on the interstate. I can see red on the other side. I don't see any right here. So I'm assuming that there's some issues on the highway, because down here, I thought I saw another spot where it was having me get off. So there's something going on right here. So anyways, I'm supposed to be here till 53%, about 12 minutes. So I'm going to activate this charger. We'll get this thing plugged in and we will keep on rolling. So some charging issues already here. This is a 350 over here that somebody's plugged into, and this is a 350 right here. Also on Electrify America's app, it says it's 50. And when I plugged in, I was only getting like 35 kilowatts. So something's wrong with the charger. It's downgraded, whatever. I don't know why. So there's really only one 350 here. So instead I have to plug into this one, which is a 150, because I'm not gonna sit here and get 35 kilowatts. So that is gonna add charging time. Fortunately, this is a small charging stop. So hopefully it won't be a huge drain, but it's really annoying is what that is. Other than that, I haven't had a catastrophic issue at a charger yet, so that's good. But yeah, that's really frustrating, getting to a fast charger and it doesn't charge fast. Okay, scratch that. The guy just left, so I was able to scoot over and it is ramping up now. Let's take a look at what the charging is doing. Ramping up quickly. We were getting 146 on that 150, so it was pretty good. And a vehicle like this that can cap out at 220-ish, being stuck with a 150 is not terrible, but these bigger, faster charging EVs, that is a nightmare. I can tell you from experience. So yeah, now we're at 212 kilowatts. So this will be much, much faster. Need to be here till 53% according to the screen, which is a lot more than I actually need, but we'll let it do its thing. We'll get right back on the road. I spoke too soon yet again. As soon as we hit peak, this whole thing's like glitching out. I have tried to do this 3 times now. No dice. So let's unplug again and move again. This is so much fun. See, and I just said that. Why did I say that? This is my fault. This isn't even on Electrify America. This is on me, right? Okay, let's try one more time. Let's see what happens. I switched handles again. I used this one, I used that one, I used this one again. Now I'm trying this one more time. It's doing something, so that's good. So we're starting to charge. Man, what a mess. We are looking at ramp it up. Yep. There is legitimately nothing fun about this. I'm not even joking. I am gonna unplug a little bit early. We're coming in on 50%, only 101 miles to go. If we stay, we'll get there at 52, but if I leave now, we'll get there about 10 minutes earlier and a little bit less in estimated arrival, I guess. But let's go ahead and unplug. It looks like, I don't know if we can see this or not, but that says 912, 19 kilowatt hours, 7 minutes, at least on this one, on this charging session. So that's been fun. I think I've used all but one of these charging stations here. And the cabinets are just, you know, doing their thing. So $9.12. Let's stop charging. And come on. Any minute. Any minute. Hey, there we go. All right, back on the road here. Let's see what our new arrival looks like. And if it'll just keep rounding us right back here, probably. Likes to do that. Nope. 52 at arrival. Okay, that's right. We're not supposed to take the interstate for whatever reason, so we'll take the scenic route. Looking good. All right, so the good news is we got here, and it is a Rivian network, which is great. It's pretty smooth. Only supposed to be here for 26 minutes, but it's in a shopping center area, so this is the place to get food. And if we look at the time, it is 3:45, which is no bien, because we're here in San Antonio, and traffic is already starting to pick up. So it was a little bit of well, it was fun getting here. We'll just leave it at that. So, arrived here at 19%, 67 miles. Pretty decent efficiency overall. The last 15, of course, was really good, but 2.24 holding steady, 1,383 miles. So let's go ahead and get this thing plugged in. Nothing fancy, nothing extra to do. Too easy. All right, so we are wrapping up charging. I decided to let it do the whole thing this time, just to see how much of a waste of time this was going to be. So we have 174 miles to go on this next little stretch here, which is quite a drive here. 174 miles, a little over 3 hours actually. Still making headway here. Keep on rolling. About 1,166 miles to go. 22-ish hours with charging. So unplug and hit the road. A little bit of the detail on that charge. 74 kilowatt hours, 26 bucks. Not bad. All right, we are here at the Shell Recharge. These look brand new. Pretty nice. These are all 180s, those three, and then this one's a 360. And since it is in the gas station, I can get this windshield cleaned again and fill up the washer fluid. So it wants us to be here for an hour and 17 minutes, and of course, we're not going to do that. You should know that by now, but I'm not going to charge to 99% as it would like us to do. We will be splitting this up before heading all the way over there. I'm not going to do that. That's too far of a stretch when there's decent chargers between here and there. There's Electrify America, terrible. Electrify America, terrible. So we'll figure out which one is the least terrible out of those two options, and we'll go with that. So for now, let's check this thing out. Let's take a look here. Plug in your vehicle. Very nice. And heavy as usual. And unwieldy. Let's see what happens here. Wants us to pay with an RFID. I wonder if that's the same case over here. Nope. Huh. But it says you can use the app, so give me a minute. I gotta download another app. Lovely. Get this going. Okay, like 3 seconds ago, I hit start charging on my phone. I already had an account set up, so I forgot there was a small local level 2 charger at one point that I tried out. But anyways, let's see how long this takes to connect. The equipment's nice, and it functions really well. Screen snappy, all that stuff. Should be a 180, you'll notice, instead of the 360 over there. I found out how much they charge for these. So that 360, they're charging 85 cents a kilowatt hour. These 180s, they are charging 79 cents a kilowatt hour. This is the most I have ever paid for electricity. Like, this is insane. No wonder these things are all bright and pretty and they've got flags all up down the road. This is insane. This is like gouging. I don't even know how else to say it. And we're stuck at 37 kilowatt. So let's see if the car has anything to say about that. What's going on here? Limited by charging station. Fantastic. That's the experience you hope to get when you're paying exorbitant rates for charging. Come on. I'll have to mess with this, I guess. I'll just keep switching around until I can find a cabinet that's going to give us all the juice that we can have. So I actually just switched handles. So for some reason, handle number 2 on this one is not doing well. Although now I see it's throttling right back down. Let's see if that settles in that 37 kilowatt range. Yeah. You gotta be kidding me. What in the world is going on? All right, well, I'll move cabinets then. That's all there is to it. All right, let's see how this one does. This one actually has a Chatamo on it as well, which is crazy, but whatever. CCS on one side, Chatamo on the other. Let's see if this is gonna work. Come on. There's 100. Okay. There's 138. I hear the turbo spooling up. Diesel generator kicked on, so we're good. I hope. We'll see if it holds by the time the screen changes. Yep, looks good. 139 kilowatt right now. Let's see, 138 kilowatt. So that's gonna fluctuate a bit throughout the curve. I'll keep an eye on it, but let's let this thing charge up for a bit, and then we will start messing with our route planning. Proud to be coming to you live from right outside of Houston in Katy, Texas, at the Shell station. Yeah, Shell Recharge. They're very proud of it. There's flags out by the road, and to be honest with you, I would be very proud of it. Number one, the equipment is very nice, and number two, if you thought the oil companies were going to lose out with EVs, think again, my friend. These 3 stalls, 180 kilowatt stalls. This one does not work at all. It's brand new, by the way. Both handles would not charge. I did get that one to ramp up. 79 cents a kilowatt hour. 180 kilowatts, not enough juice for you? Not a problem. We got the premium boy over here, 360 kilowatt charge rate. All for just 85 cents, 89 cents a kilowatt hour. Like, that is absolutely insane. That is ridiculous. That should be illegal. But these guys have a really long relationship with Congress, so what's going to happen about that? probably nothing. So we get to sit here and basically pay what it costs to drive a school bus across the country in this, at least on this charge. Thanks, Shell. I'm so glad that you're here. Well, to be honest with you, I'm not going to pay these kinds of rates. So I'm charging just enough to get to the next station. This is ridiculous. This should be illegal to gouge people like that. Anyways, I am, it says for 6 more minutes, I can make it across Houston to an EVGo charger just outside of Houston on the other side. And that is exactly what I'm going to do. Just to put this into perspective for you, I have charged, let's see, I have added 18 kilowatt hours. I mean, what have I spent? $16 in a matter of minutes. Like, where are we at here? How long has this charging session been? 8 minutes. $2 a minute, basically. Like, that is absolutely insane. And it's kind of teetering at 145 kilowatt, which I'm not complaining about the 145. This is crazy, though. And unfortunately, people don't know any better. When they pull up to this stuff, they just plug and go, and they don't really have choices. So Tesla, man, you are really saving the day with opening up superchargers to non-Teslas. That's really a big deal. So enough of that pep talk. I am going to let this thing charge up a few more minutes, and then I will unplug and we will get out of here as quickly as we can. All right, so after emptying out our kids' 529 college savings plan, I was able to clear that charge. Total of, what was it? 41 kilowatt hours. It was $42. So that's awesome. I'm actually taking this very badly, and I'm very upset about this, more than I should be, because it's ridiculous and taking advantage of people, and I don't like that. So I'm going to get going like 49 minutes to get through 47 miles. 47 miles, 49 minutes. So I'm going to go ahead and do that now. Should be there about 9 o'clock. This is going to be a bit of a time warp for you. I'm actually all the way over where I'm at. I don't know. Louisiana, though, and we're at an Electrify America charger. We're just east of Lafayette, Louisiana. So, skipped some filming there. I was dealing with some stuff. I'm still upset about that Shell charger, by the way. But I was able to get to the next one, plug in, charge, and then make it all the way out here because I way overcharged. So I had plenty of juice to skip some chargers. We're way out here now. Let me show you what the plan is, because I've got something cool for the next stop. So we're supposed to be here for 33 minutes, and although there is a Rivian network charger right there, this is a supercharger, a Tesla Supercharger that has Magic Dock. It's like the only one down here, and I think if I select this, let's see what that looks like. So you can see where they all are. They are not down here. This whole route does not have Tesla Superchargers, which is unfortunate. You know, there's one up here in Dallas, and there's one up here, right? So they're all not here, and that's fine, but I do want to take advantage of one of them with this Rivian, just to see how much better or even possibly worse it is to use the Tesla Supercharging network. But I'm supposed to be there at like 3:30 in the morning after this charge and the drive. So need to stop talking. I need to start charging. Let's get this thing rolling. Okay, we'll see if it works. But on a bright note, it said this session is complimentary, courtesy of Electrify America. Oh, very nice. Well, thank you very much, EA. I have not been a fan, but I am a fan of this. So thanks so much for the free charge. Let's see if it's a good free charge or if it's free for a reason. We're about to find out. There is one other 350, and then there's a 150 and a 50 over there, and then two 150s this way. So let's see what we get. All right. Oh, yeah, it looks good. 156. We're at 8%, by the way. So we're going to have to be in the teens somewhere to get that 200-ish. I apologize. CCS is not my go-to, and it never will be after this trip. So very good. Probably rambling way too much, which is cool. So gonna be here till it says 68% is what it wants us to charge to. So it'll be a little bit. So I am gonna go inside, stretch the good old legs. Should be the last charging stop before Tesla. I guess that one will be the last charge. And because I'm an idiot, I even remembered and then I forgot. I didn't book a hotel in time. So I'm gonna try to play the game with changing the time zone on my phone. No guarantee that's gonna work. So I got to figure out the hotel situation somewhere over by that Tesla charger. Gonna work on all of that while I'm waiting for this thing to charge up. All right, just as the doctor ordered, closing in on 68%. Gonna unplug here in just a moment as it clears, and we'll head over to the Tesla charger, which I'm excited about. There's 68% right there. Total cost of $0. Cannot believe it. But this charging stop was complimentary apparently, so there you go. Gonna unplug her, get right back on the road. Last stop up ahead. And for those of you who come to this particular stop, the Walmart is closed. They don't stay open late, which means if you need to use the restroom, you're kind of out of luck. So there we have it. 141 miles to go. Should be there about 3:25. Look at that. It's already preconditioning. I saw the message. You saw the message. It's there. I can hear the fans running, so maybe it'll shut off here in a minute. But let's get going. All right, well, obvious problem number one, of course, you already know, is charge ports on the wrong side for Tesla chargers. So kind of straddling the line here because I need to use that charger, but I'm technically parking in this charger spot, which is not ideal, but the only other car here is a Mercedes, nobody else, so I don't feel bad. It is 3 o'clock in the morning. I didn't think this was going to be an issue. So says to charge to 68% here at the Tesla charger. And the good news is my hotel is like right here somewhere. I haven't added it into the screen, but I did get one booked. So just need to charge this up to make it for tomorrow to the next stop. And should be good there. So you'll have to forgive me. This is the first time I'm using an iPad to record. So I'll do my best here, but we need to open up the Tesla app, and then when we open up the menu here, charge your other EV is what you're looking for. And the nice thing is it knows where you're at, of course. And if you actually zoom out here, you can see where all the locations are. Now, you might not see anything at first, and it is because you need to have a vehicle in here. So if we go into here, this will show me which vehicle I have selected, and you're going to add a vehicle. I added an F-150 Lightning. I added this one with, as you'll see here, no NACS DC adapter, and that's important if you don't have one, because then you can only use stations with Magic Dock, which is the whole point here. So this Rivian R1T, I put in its information, and that is the vehicle that I am selecting. So this station right here, Pearl River, Louisiana, is the station I want to activate. And there's 7 of 8 stalls available, which is true because there's one over there. Now, when you select a charge here, it's going to tell you which stall I want to start charging here. It shows me what the fee is. It's 43 cents per kilowatt hour, which is reasonable compared to Electrify America, that's for sure. So I want to select the stall. So this is the stall I'm going to be using right here at the bottom, 2B. So let's go over here and select 2B and start charging. I just heard that make a noise. Already open there. Forgot to close that, I guess. Press and hold this for 2 seconds and you'll feel it kind of do a thing. You'll feel a little thud in there. And then you should be able to slide it right into your vehicle. And it can take up to 2 minutes, it says, for it to start charging. And I believe, oh, there we go. So that was pretty quick, pretty painless, pretty easy. And then you can get all of your charging information on your phone. Yep, sitting at a solid 160, and at this state of charge, that sounds about right. So then you can walk away. You can leave this as is. Stop charging when you're done. And that's pretty much it. There we go, looking good at 212 kilowatt. Charging up very nicely. Supposed to be here until 69%. Definitely gonna stay for that. This is an absolute game changer for non-Teslas. I am done charging here. I'm gonna go down to the hotel. It's 5 miles back towards the highway, which is good. A couple of quick observations that are kind of funny. I guess other than the fact that I have to park like this, one of these chargers is not like the others. So no more bump stops. I guess that could have been a Tesla, but we're gonna start seeing a lot more of this, I suspect. The other observation, they got here before me. They were well into charging before I was here. As a matter of fact, the driver was already inside taking care of business. So they had been here for quite a bit longer than me, and I'm already at 81%. I've unplugged, I'm getting ready to leave. That's not a fast charging car, and we're going to start seeing more and more of those at Tesla Superchargers. So this is going to be a challenge on how we manage this rollout. Now, the good news is this, for Tesla owners who are worried about this, it's not going to be every charger, and Tesla is continuing to roll out and blast out a ton of new superchargers across this country, faster than anybody. And so that's good news for everybody. But this access to superchargers is an absolute game changer for non-Tesla owners. And this is the difference between the rest of the industry fluttering and being prosperous. That is my humble opinion on the situation. I think that Tesla put a lot of things to the wayside in order to make this happen. And I think that this will bode well for the future of the company and certainly the future of electrification. So with that, I'm going to go to the hotel. I'm going to pick this up in the morning because it's 4:10 a.m. and I deserve some rest, but I do need to edit a video before I go to sleep because in like 4 hours, Friday, 9 a.m. Eastern, my video usually goes live, and I am so behind this week. So I got to bust this out, then I can get some sleep. Then I will catch you guys in the morning. I would say good morning, but it's really afternoon. It's 12:30. I ended up getting in super late, and then I had to edit a video. So I got to bed at like 6:30 or 7 o'clock. So a little bit late today, but that's okay. Gonna make it home today. So that's exciting. Let's take a look. It's an interesting route home. New charger is next. I'll show you what I'm talking about. All right, so our next charger is actually a Mercedes charger. Bummer. So our next charger is a Mercedes charger, and it's actually at the Buc-ee's. So it's one of those new Chargepoint chargers by Mercedes. It's whatever that joint venture is they're doing together. But that's coming up first in Robertsdale, Alabama, and then we'll be in Florida. So Chipley, Lake City, Probably not much more charging than just that. But as it sits right now, it says 10:46 p.m. arrival. Now we are an hour behind, so probably 11:46 would be my guess. So we'll see how this goes. I'm gonna get moving though. It is starting to drizzle a little bit. Hopefully that is on its way out of here. Now this is wild. They now have a guy directing traffic. That's how crazy this Buc-ee's has gotten here in Robertsdale, Alabama. Oh, okay, never mind, because there's a car show. How fun is that? That's actually gonna be pretty cool. I bet they'll love our electric cars. All the Teslas charging up. I feel left out, so gotta head over this way.
In 700 feet, your destination.
Find this
right.
Mercedes charger over here. I see a F-150 Lightning, I think. So right up here. All the slammed cars. And a couple of RVs. All right. Yeah, here we go. This is where I'm supposed to be, right over here.
Your destination is on the right.
So this little jaunt was pretty efficient. We arrived here with so much extra energy. I probably could have skipped this, but I didn't. So anyways, it's supposed to charge to 67% and about 17 minutes it thinks. And yeah, we're making good progress. So here, after this stop, I think Chipley, Florida is the next one, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, Chipley, Florida, and then one more after that, which I still got to get with the owner of this Rivian and see where we're going to meet to swap cars back. I did want to give an update too, since I didn't this morning. We're looking at 2.22 miles per kilowatt hour, and in just a minute I'll come back after I plug in and I'll show you how to calculate this into watt hours per mile for those of you who are Tesla owners. So with that, let's get the Mercedes plugged in, huh? Let's Chargepoint. Okay, this is that new partnership that Mercedes announced last year. Oh my goodness, this thing is stiff. Oh, very, very hard to do this with one hand. Oh, there we go. Man.
Hey, sir, don't take this personal. Be careful driving out around the Gulf Coast. Batteries and salt don't get along.
Oh, yeah. As long as there's not a hurricane, we'll be all right.
How much of a charge do you get, and how far do you drive on the charge?
This thing?
Yeah.
It's got a pretty good sized battery. It's rated for like 320, 350.
300,
350.
350 miles?
That's pretty good.
How often do you have to charge it?
Well, I mean, 350 miles.
Oh, that's a stupid question. I'm sorry about that.
On the highway, you go faster, so it's not quite that good. You probably go 250 miles on the highway. Yeah, that's a big battery, so it can do it.
Be safe.
Yeah, you too.
Take care, bro.
Yeah. All right. So we got to authenticate this, so I am going to have to turn the camera off and open up my Chargepoint app, get this thing rolling. All right, let's see how long it takes to start charging. That was not too terrible on the app. Charging stopped. Awesome. Already failing. Okay, what the heck? Ay, ay, ay. Please turn the plug, try again. Okay. Okay, maybe I gotta activate it before I plug it in. Let's find out. Didn't charge me, so that's good. Let me get the app back out. All right, there we go. It started going, so I think we're all right. See how quickly it ramps up. This is a 400 kilowatt charger, so it is capable of fast charging just about anything on the road right now. Most things, except for very, very big things. Anyways, 400 kilowatts is a ton of power. This thing should be able to get us the full 200, 220. And it looks like it's not having any issues there. Looks like about 170 on the cabinet is where it's settling in. Let's look at the screen. 169. So need to be here again until, what did it say? 67%. So we'll let this thing charge up. I'm gonna go check out those cars over there and spend some time. But real quick, if you are used to Tesla terms, or at least for comparison purposes, you don't know how to compare this to what you're used to, all you do is take 1 divided by this number, and that will give you the equivalent watt-hour per mile. And in this case, that is 450 watt-hour per mile over the last 2,000 miles, which is pretty good. This thing is like 7,000 pounds. So big truck, not a big truck, a heavy truck, getting 450 watt-hour per mile across the country, doing 85. That's pretty good. So we'll keep an eye on that. Hopefully we have settled in. It hasn't really moved much in since Arizona anyways. I think we're at 2.28 or so. So in that 2.2 range, looking pretty good. So we'll let her charge up 171, just kind of cruising at all the juice it needs at 35%. No surprise, this place is a madhouse, but we are charged up enough. 67%, we're at 69%. So I'm gonna go ahead and hit continue here. We have 137 miles to go, about 2 hours, and that'll get us to Chipley, Florida. So let's go unplug and check out what we're looking at for this charge. Oops. Let's see here. We're at $19.44. They were charging us, there we go, 36 cents a kilowatt hour. Very reasonable. But I think there was like a top charge, like $30 for 15 minutes or something like that. I don't know. So we're at $19.48. That is it for this charge. All right, so here we are in Chipley. I think Chipley. Why can't I remember things like this? Anyways, supposed to charge at 88%. We're at 25%. That's a long charge. We might do it though, because I do want to get something to eat while I'm here. There's a couple of restaurants around. I could probably get something decent. So that will get us all the way to Lake City, which is supposed to be our last charge, then home. And a 350 stall is available. Doesn't mean it's going to work, but it is available. The other 350 is being used by a really sweet looking EV9. I actually really like that. It's a it's an awesome car. So let's see what happens when we plug it in. All right. You never know. Sometimes you can get a free session. Not this time. I'm gonna activate it on the app real quick. All right, there we go. Let's see how long this takes. Okay, here we go. Got some action going. Let's see something good. I can't believe how quiet this cabinet is. Fan is not running. 163 at 24%. A little on the low side, but that'll level out here soon, I'm sure. All right, so we're wrapping up here. Yeah, I'm not crazy about charging quite that much. That's a lot. But
In a quarter mile, turn right.
what I've noticed is it is suggesting we'll go less distance since we hit Florida, and just based off of how far we're going and how much charge it wants. So that's an interesting observation. So I don't know if there's a lot of wind up ahead or what the deal is, but it's estimating like even right here, 185 miles arrival at 53 miles. This one, when we left, about the same arrival estimate, and we came in almost 90 miles of range remaining. So anyways, I am gonna unplug this so we can make it to, I believe this is Lake City, 185 miles away, 2.5 hours. So we are still looking at 10:42. So again, 11:42 once we change time zones. So a little bit ahead of schedule, but not a whole lot. So let's take a look at the stats on charging. All right, stop. Charged 85 kilowatt hours and 3486 for the total. 42-minute charge. So not really all that bad, but longer than I like to sit at a charger, that's for sure. So let's get this thing hooked up, back on the road. All right, we're here at the last stop of the trip. Here it is an FPL charger. So this is funded by, I guess, Florida Power and Light. I don't know if these are free. We gotta pay, not sure. Anyways, supposed to be here for 31 minutes, and we're here at 18, so get it up to 72%. That's the game plan here. And as we look at the whole trip that's left, it's literally, we're on 75 now. We're gonna take that all the way down to like the Orlando area. Anyways, whatever. Let's go on. They won't turn around. It's upside down. There we go. So that'll take us right in before Orlando, and I can get home from there. So about, I don't know. Let's just get plugged in. Let's see how this is gonna go. It is next to the gas station, and on the screen, if you look, it shows, it looks like, and it directs you to the parking lot next door, which is the Exxon, which isn't normally a big deal, but you should be turning at that light, not going past it to do a U-turn to get into the Exxon parking lot, because this is on the corner over here. Just turn left at the light. All right, let's see if these things are gonna work out well for us or not. And 9 minutes later, we finally have a green light. It actually just turned green as I started recording. This is one of the things that really bugs me about all the various different charging stations that we have. So this is a one-off, and guess what? You can't just charge it by plugging in and doing whatever. You gotta have an account. It's gotta create an account. Then you gotta add a payment method. Like, it's so annoying. I have so many new apps just from this weekend, adding my payment method, adding my personal details, just for a single charge, and it's really getting old. It's really annoying, but nonetheless, let's see how we're doing, because it is firing up here. It is a 350 charger, and we're getting 163 right now, so looks like it's going to perform pretty well for us. And unlike the other public chargers that I've had the absolute pleasure of dealing with on this trip, this one's 30 cents a kilowatt hour, super reasonable. So there you have it. So we're gonna let this thing charge up for a while, and we'll finish this little trip up and get home. All right, before we take off, it did drop now to 2.21, which is closer to 476 roughly, 1 hour per mile equivalent. But again, 7,000 pound truck, I think that's not that bad. And the reason why it's not that bad is because there's a humongous battery underneath this. That makes this thing still a pretty good thing to road trip, which is nice. So we are at 74%, so a couple over, and 2 hours to go. 140 miles. Let's go ahead and take a look and see how much that costs. All right, 81.5 kilowatt hours, and no cost on there. But I'll look in the app and I'll let you know what it says, unless the screen updates. But let's put this big thing back. Nope, screen does not update. Okay. Oh my goodness. Jeez. So glad Nax is here for everybody. So that was $24.51, something like that. So not too bad. So 140 miles to go. Be there about 11:42, it says, with like 119 miles range, whatever that is in percent. So let's go ahead and finish this thing off and get home. So I've been home here for a little bit, and I almost forgot to come out here and wrap this video up. I will make it quick, but some pretty decent things to talk about with this trip. This truck is really comfortable. No issues driving across the country, and the range is really nice. Charges really well. Yeah, I mean, there's not much to complain about. That said, the public charging infrastructure, both price and reliability, is really a letdown, and it would definitely, as a consumer, sway me away from owning a CCS car. However, Rivian is going to be able to charge on Tesla Superchargers, select Superchargers, with an adapter, and people are already posting videos of using third-party adapters to make this work, and it seems to work just fine. So this is a game changer. If you're buying a car that does not have access to Tesla's supercharging network, and you ever take it anywhere that requires any amount of supercharging, you're in big trouble, because it's just so much better. It is reliable, it works well, it's fast. It's not worth the hassle of dealing with, public charging, and not to mention the cost difference. The supercharging network is very reasonable. Even with the upcharge for CCS cars, it is not a bad price at all. And some of these public chargers, it makes me sick how much they're charging. Like Shell charging 85 cents a kilowatt hour. That's absurd. But anyways, enough chit chat. Let's take a look at the numbers for this trip. At the moment, I've got this thing plugged in, charging in the garage. So when Colby comes to get it, it will be nice and topped off for him. And our universal wall connector is working very nice. Now the air is rolling right now, so that is impacting the amount of time it takes to charge. But once I get out of here, that'll speed up a little bit. But 11.1 kilowatt, not too bad. So let's go over here to the vehicle. Total trip was 2,555.4 miles, 2.21 miles per kilowatt hour. And again, like I said at the last stop, that's roughly 470, 480 1 hour per mile equivalent. So again, 1 divided by your miles per kilowatt hour will give you roughly your 1 hour per mile. So just in case you need that mentally to have a comparison to something, to rationalize it in a way that you understand if you're only a Tesla driver. So that that whole trip, not bad. If I take a look, I don't think there's anything else we're gonna find out here. Total energy consumed 1,155 kilowatt hours, which at public charging rates is very, very expensive. But it took 37.5 hours to go coast to coast in a solo And that would be obviously drive time. So yeah, I mean, now that Rivian can charge on Tesla's supercharging network, I wouldn't think twice about a Rivian. Even the R1T, just like this, it's super heavy, but it's got an awesome large battery in it. And they look good. They drive really well. This particular one has a really loud wind noise here on the door that needs to be fixed. But other than that, everything else was nice. This particular one has 50,000 miles on it and no issues, none at all. And nice and quiet in here other than the wind. No rattles, things like that. I wouldn't think twice. And now we're starting to see R1Ts on the used market. I finally saw one for 59 something. So just under $60,000. We're getting to that price point on the used market, starting to become a really good deal. Knowing that you're getting a Tacoma sized truck, you're not getting a full size truck. This is not a full size truck. But if that is what you're looking for, these are great cars. And I wouldn't think twice, especially now with access to the Tesla Supercharging network. So with that, I hope that this was the last time I have to use public CCS charging, and only Tesla Superchargers from here on out. And that'll make me very happy. I hope that you enjoyed this video, and I can't wait to catch you on the next one.